Hello, and welcome to Shane's Microscope. I'm Shane, and this is my microscope. Let's take a peek. Today's sample comes to us from the bottom of my spinach bag. There always seems to be at least one spinach leaf at the bottom of that bag that's disgusting and slimy by the time I finish it, so I thought we could take a look and see what was actually going on with that. I made us a slide with 2 samples on it, one of some heavily decomposed leaves and one of more mildly decomposed leaf. And I just put them both on the same slide so we could easily investigate them both. There are several species of spinach, but the one that we generally buy at the store to eat is Spinacia oleracea. Spinacia comes from the Latin spina for spine. Some spinaches have prickly seeds, and some sources claim that Latin word has Persian origins, and oleracea comes from the Latin olis for vegetable. Having a look at this spinach leaf under the microscope, we can tell that it's decomposing. And zoomed in, we can see there's definitely some unhealthy looking gray things within that leaf. I'm not really sure what those are, but I'm pretty sure that's evidence of decomposition. And zooming way in, we can really see those chloroplasts. That's where the plant produces its energy using sunlight. And we can tell that the leaf has definitely lost its structural integrity. You can see an interesting flow of water. There's loose chloroplasts and probably bacteria and stuff moving in there. Looking at the leaf, with just the right depth of field and focus, we can see the stoma. That's from the Greek word for mouth. That's how the plant leaves breathe. Those 2 sort of lip-looking things, they can change length, and that opens and closes the opening of the stoma. Now, I don't know what these are, but there seem to be these almost crystalline-looking things that are formed within the leaf. Zooming in on them, they look very inorganic. Cube shapes are very unusual for living organisms to form. These definitely look like crystals of some kind. And looking down near the edge of one of the leaves where it's starting to disintegrate, we can see it looks like there's some cells coming off there. You can still see the green chloroplasts within those cells, but they are definitely not where they're supposed to be. And at really high magnification, I think we can see what's going on here. You can see a lot of movement. There's a lot of bacteria here. And what I think we're looking at are protoplasts. That's from the Greek proto, first, and plastos, formed. So first formed, and they're cells without cell walls, usually due to some sort of enzymatic removal of the wall. And so I think what's happening here is these bacteria are disintegrating the cell walls, and that's causing these loose cells to come out of the spinach leaf, and then eventually those probably burst, and then the bacteria can consume the contents. That's really interesting. Now, looking over at the heavily decomposed sample, we can see that these are really far gone. They're just super disintegrated, sort of loose blobs. There's hardly any boundaries between the cells anymore. And you can see that this also really has those crystalline shapes in them. I would really like to know what those are, because they look incredibly unnatural. I can't imagine they belong here. Well, I think we learned some really interesting things about that spinach in there. We've got bacteria that are disintegrating the cell walls, the cellulose, and that's why that spinach at the bottom of the bag turns to mush. But I do not have an explanation for these crazy crystalline-looking things. Well, I may not be able to explain them, but I can observe them. Alright, well, I think we'll leave it there for the day. Thanks for having a look with me. Until next time, keep on peeking.